Okay, so hello. I wanted to talk about climbing, my thought process while climbing, and that's about it. Uh, I'm Adam. I'm the guy that's climbing while in the videos. So this is the first time doing something this style. So bear with me. I'm probably gonna be editing this down a little bit, but yeah, here we go. So we're gonna go over this first one here. This is just me. It's a kind of a simple route. It's more of a warm up. It's really balancy. So I wanted this hold over here. You can. It's part of the route. I didn't see it when I first saw this, so my whole thought process when walking up to him, like, okay, how are you supposed to approach this, not seeing this at all? So like, okay, you could like sit on it. There's no way you're supposed to be like hold like down below and then work your way up. I mean, maybe throw a heel up on this. So I was like, oh, I can just, instead of throwing a heel, let's just throw my leg over it and call that good. So I had my buddy Art helping me out with filming. Usually I just kind of set up my little tripod and go with it. And so the thought process is, okay, you can get on there, you just get on up and go. And this one was a really balancy route, like I said before. So you want to, when you make moves like that where you've got a whole like a shelf in front of you that's very slick, you just want to commit to the move. So here you saw me start it the way you're supposed to, where you have your foot over there and you have your hands and you kind of work your way up. But with this, you just commit to it. A lot of times people just don't trust their feet, or they just don't trust that they can get to that move that it seems a lot further, myself included. But if you just go for it, you just want to make sure you commit 100% to, like, okay, I'm going to go for that move. I mean, don't do something that's going to hurt yourself. But that's just one of the things where you just got to go for it. Here we're going to move on to one of the projects that I have finished it. I got it my second time through, so not a flash, but it's a tougher route. This one I'm not going to be finishing it. After I did it, I was like, okay, let's get a video of it at the end of the day. So I go back to it and I forgot how I did it. It's something that I do a lot, especially with flashes. So you start here, you got a little foothold. There's all the yellow holds. Both hands start here, and all of these, I'm going to actually switch over to this. Bloop. Bloop. Actually, get out of your project files. Make this any... Okay, that's as big as this one's going to get. Alright, so this is how I do pretty much all of my editing. Okay, we need to zoom up just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Bloop. Okay, so with this I can actually kind of zoom in on certain points. So you can see these holds are weird banana mouth looking things. And so you can barely get your hand in there, maybe like to the first knuckle, a little bit past it on some of them, and then some of them are even worse, where you're just getting your fingertips in there. It's more of a crimp with a very narrow outlet, so instead of being able to get like a full like grab on it, you're gonna have to basically just kind of get the fingertips in there and then like palm down underneath. So let's switch back over to this. Whoop. Yeah, so my approach on this one, first time I did it, I started the same way, except for I believe I had my right foot on the starting hold, and because I knew I was going to be going out to the left, and this hold down here, in my head, okay, that's a foothold, and this hold up here is the starting hold. So thought process on it is, okay, get a hand over the starting hold, then get the foot over. I realized after making that move that it was not working, so I switched for a heel hook on the starting hold here, so you just kind of throw that up there, and this hold was actually pretty positive, and get the left hand over into that little crevice and use it more as a side kind of crimp. And it's kind of nice having those because you can use it both ways. So on this side you can use it, or you're wanting to pull the other way, you can use it. So I could have reached over and got my hand on it like that, but the next move that I was wanting to make, I was like, okay, let's just get that left hand right there and kind of move myself over. My thought process was same thing. I'm going to get my foot up, get my foot over to here, have my hands kind of matched, and then get the hand up to the next one. But when you're, at least when I'm on the wall, sometimes like things just don't go the way I'm planning them. So I drop my hand down and instead choose to use what I thought of as a foothold, as a handhold, to get my left foot. You can see I very quickly placed it up onto the volume here. So just kind of throw it on there. Sweet. And then reach over, swing. And the way those are positioned, like when you swing, it's just naturally, okay, perfect. And then that is more of a foothold. I use it as this little stopgap to get up to the next hold. And here is where I feel I messed up. So I go up to that hold with my right hand, which I think is okay, but I need to shift my body over once I get my hand up there. So I have my hands over. If I can get my left foot, whoop. If I can get my left foot to where my right foot is at, do a little foot swap here, and then have the other foot flagged out or up here. I know that seems kind of weird where it's like almost in line with where my chest is on the other side of a volume, but if I do that move, it's a lot easier to make the next move over to the next hold. And I come down, I just could not recreate what I had done because I honestly forgot. And we'll bump over to this one. These green holds are all more like slopey little guys. So start with a heel hook on this left hold. There's a little chip down here, and then the two hands. Most of this beginning part is really straightforward. It's just a matter of being able to reach them. When you're taller, it's a lot easier. But once you get over into this little area, you can't really do much as far as getting a hand in there. So that one is usually a pretty positive crimp, but when you put a volume right next to it, you can barely get the hand in there, so it's just fingertips. So just kind of going up, and it's like, okay, let's match, get the foot on that little crater. I'm not that great with pockets. I try to work on them. There, you can see I missed because it's very small. You want to do these things as a, okay, I'm already in position, and then set your hand there. You're not going to be throwing for things like that because you're not going to catch. I mean, you might catch sometimes, and you might catch every time, but I feel like you're gonna hurt yourself. And my thought process here when looking up at this, the first time that I did this is one where, again, I flashed it, and I was like, oh yeah, that one was kind of tough, but you know, it's pretty doable. I believe I used this foothold right here as, again, a little stopgap. I really like using footholds that, even if they're like really slopey or really crimpy, very small, if I can get my hand on there for just a little bit and then make the move to this next one a smaller move, so instead of going the 2 feet from here up to here, I can go 1.5 feet without having to make much movement, get on there, get kind of settled into that new body position and then reach up, it is so much easier to it ups the rate of success, I feel. And instead I opted to go up left, which I believe is not how I did it when I actually got the route. Now we're going to go over to this purple one. So all of these were all kind of in the cave area. And, I mean, this is definitely more cave over here. But they set, like, in between these lines. That's how we're kind of dividing everything up. So the social distancing still is happening. At least on the wall. But, so going more into the cave. And this one, I flashed it, and then I come back to record it later, and I forgot how I did it. I had an image in my head of what I did, but it was obviously not right. As you'll see, I get up here, and I'm thinking, okay, just grab the trunk. In my mind, what I had done was got my foot up to here, and then got a hand up, then got my other foot up, so I get my other hand up, and pulled myself up to the next one. And that might be what I did. That I could have been just really fresh. Sometimes you just have bad climbing days. You just kind of work through them. This hold right here, I call one of those, I just call it a fake hold. I mean, it could be there for, I mean, that's probably the designed beta for it. And it could be that for shorter folks that can't make the reach up to the next one, that one is just very necessary. So I come back down, and this day I feel like I was a little frustrated because, again, I couldn't get the yellow one, I couldn't get the green one, and now I was struggling with the purple one. And you've got some fun ones in the cave that I can't wait to get done, like this pink one. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back up. And the thought process is, okay, so what did I do wrong on that last one? Okay, get the foot there, and let's see if it feels good using that hold, and it doesn't. That hold is just not good at all. And you'll see this time I hit higher up on the hold, get the body into a nice position, but matching the feet there is very difficult to catch that hold. So I went back this time on Wednesday, and I really just wanted to get it done. You can see this guy, cool dude. So get up the same, very similar style, and I could have just been fresher and that was it. But I'm gonna hit this one a lot higher up, get the thumb into that little divot there, and do a little drop knee, and match. And when I match high on it instead of trying to match underneath, because that does not, matching underneath does not set you up. And so then I go up and like, okay, where's a good spot to put my foot to make this next move? Because both of these are very slopey, can't get much of a grip on them. Get the feet kind of in position, and you know, it's all fairly easy once you get your feet under you on that one. So I was pretty stoked to actually get that one on camera, and it was so much easier than I remember it being. And sometimes it's frustrating, but it's nice when you can get through and refigure out a problem, especially one that you flashed, and then somebody's asking you about it, and you're like, oh yeah, I don't know what I did. Let me show you. And you go up to go show them, and they're just like, oh, why are you doing it that way? Like, I don't know. So, I mean, sometimes I'll get up there and I'll talk through it the whole time. I actually feel like that's one of the better ways that I climb is as I'm climbing, especially like when I'm climbing with my brother Aaron, I like to just talk as I'm climbing. It kind of distracts me from any fatigue that I have, and then it also kind of gets it to where I'm not overthinking things. I'm just kind of letting myself go through the different motions of what feels good. And sometimes, you know, you can't talk. You have to put like all your concentration on like the move you're doing. You're just like, okay. But even then, I feel like talking helps me. It helps keep me breathing, because if I'm going to be talking, I have to make sure I'm actually breathing. I mean, I forget to breathe a lot while climbing. So this one is a nice one that took quite a few tries to get. This is my second attempt at it. So you've got starting hold nice and low. You're gonna have one foot kind of smeared, left foot over here. This hold right here, when you're on these ones, you can't see it. So unless you actually look at the wall before you climb, which when I'm bouldering at the gym, actually anywhere I'm climbing, I usually just kind of go for it. I mean, there's some where I'll like scope it out, but for the most part, I kind of like to just see where it goes. I don't know why, but for me it's kind of interesting to figure out, oh yeah, like how do they want to do this? Because when you have people that are setting routes, they have a certain way that you want to do it, and oftentimes, especially for the more medium difficulty, where it's like, okay, you're pretty good, you've been doing this for a while, let's see you do this. When you get the right set of moves, you're like, okay, like I need to put my foot here, and you look and there's a hold right where you feel like you need to put your foot. And I feel like those ones are really fun, where you're just like, oh, why is it that I instinctively wanted to put my foot there, and I look and there's actually a hold? I don't know. I feel like you're kind of connecting with the setter at that point, which is pretty sweet. So kind of go up and get into what I call a frog pose. So this is, again, you can tell by the shirt colors, I think 3 different recording sessions. So kind of getting into here, the hold up here is not all that great. The first time, I feel like the first time I did it, actually, I didn't get past this point because I didn't see this. So I tried just grabbing to this one and then going over to this one, and you can't really trust this with where your feet are at. I mean, if you had a foot that was a foot into the wall, it would probably be a lot better. But it's just kind of the angle really throws off the way you have to grip it. So get into the nice frog pose, and here you'll see me I'm pressing my shoulder right into the volume right there to keep myself from barn dooring. And I think the mistake that I made is matching on that one, because you really want to keep that hold on the right, the bottom right, just right here. You want to keep a hold on that one. It's a really good hold. The one up here, not as great for the position that you're in. I've seen people, they'll have a left hand here and a right hand there, and if you can keep that left on there, more power to you, but the feet drop out almost immediately because you are just completely stretched out at that point. I mean, sometimes you want to be stretched out, but you don't want to be stretched out to the point where you're completely extended and now, okay, I have to pull myself up by my arms fully extended. So here's my go at it when I was climbing with my friend Micah and Mara. Get into a nice deep frog pose and do the shoulder press. And you can see there I did what is something that I'm going to actually do when I actually get it right. And it didn't click until I was filming on the next one. So I go up for that, have my shoulder pressed deep into it because I'm thinking like that's the way I did it before. But I do a little drop knee. I'll twist my whole body in. It's not really a drop knee, but I twist it to where the knees go in the other direction. I can kind of actually press on that, because the frog pose doesn't really work when your body weight's all on one side, kind of twisted. It works better when you're squared up to the wall. And I think also my hand just kind of slipped on that one, getting a little tired. Also from being, when you get all twisted up like that, and then you just kind of are done for the day. So here again, you'll see me in my Weird Al shirt. Maybe that's what I gotta climb in, is Weird Al, and do that all the time. It'll be good. So get on up to the wall, and I was trying to do it just nice and slow and steady this time through. and you can really see how sharp that is. It's just not much to work with. So I'll get up there, twist the knee before making the move, and press in, and it was smooth as butter. It was the easiest climb at that point, and you saw I kind of paused there as I'm going up, and it was, one, to make sure I was steady, but two, I didn't expect it to work like that, so I kind of pushed myself up and slowly got the foot up. I was like, why why did that work? And that's the cool thing, since I've been filming all of these now, is I get to see how I climb, and